Hi everybody, Terrible Dactyl here. Welcome to Jurassic Plastic. This is a special edition uh, of Jurassic Plastic where we're going to take a look at new reveals of the Safari figures for 2020. Now I had to jump on here and try out this new screen recording thing, which I have not done before, so I apologize in advance for any glitches or things like that that may come up. Dan from Dan's Dinosaurs, as you can see up there in the logo, has just posted this image that presumably is going to go up on his website soon for ordering. And these are presumably most of the new Wild Safari Prehistoric World models for 2020. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit pleased with myself because, like a lot of people, I had been kind of participating in making predictions about some of these. And one thing I noticed that Safari's been doing the past couple of years is trying to sort of get to remaking a lot of the models that they had released, which obviously are discontinued and they can't really, re-release them due to contractual things. But a lot of them are popular species that you're going to want to have on the market. So let's take a look. One of those that I mentioned that was a former Carnegie model that of a popular species is the first one over here, Ichthyosaurus. That's a pretty cool looking Ichthyosaurus, right? It's got kind of like a dolphin-like color pattern, again similar to the Carnegie one. The sculpting obviously is very different. I'm going to assume Dan LoRusso did a lot of these, but we're going to have to await confirmation on the exact sculptors. But my first reaction to that Ichthyosaurus is that looks pretty cool. I don't personally usually go back and get a lot of the same species if they were in the Carnegie line already, which obviously is my focus collection. But that's a nice looking Ichthyosaurus. I might have to grab that one. The paint scheme looks a little simpler than the Carnegie, obviously. There's fewer colors to it. And, clearly these images are a little bit blurry. They're not the best. It's low quality. I'm trying to zoom in here. But that's about as good as I can get. So, yeah, it's different. I appreciate that it's a little bit different than the Carnegie one. It's pretty cool. Next to that, we have the Kinjalosaurus, also known as Pinocchio Rex. It's interesting. The color scheme on that, I don't know. It's a little bit duller than we've kind of come to expect from Wild Safari, isn't it? I like it though. It's got a little bit of realism to it. From this blurry photo, you can see that the sculpt is nice on around the skull, little hornlets and things like that. The nice long snout. It's kind of unique species. I don't think we have too many Alioramus type models on the market. Pose on the feet looks a little weird to me. I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on that one, I think, until I see some higher res photos. But just from this one, I think it looks pretty nice. These are obviously prototype photos. The models that come out to market are going to look a little different than that. But just the blending and the shading, I think, looks pretty nice on that Kinjalosaurus. Now, the Shringosaurus. I had heard somebody predict that they might try to do that Shringosaurus, which I love. That's one of my favorite prehistoric reptiles that's been discovered recently. And that, a lot of people were predicting that they should come out with Zool, the Ankylosaur Zool. I remember when they discovered this thing, I was like, man, they should have saved the name Zool for this. Because this thing looks like the demons from Ghostbusters, doesn't it? With the little horns that point forward and, it's quadrupedal and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really that familiar with the proportions of Shringosaurus. From this blurry photo, I think it looks pretty good. I like the color scheme. I'm not quite sure about the feet. Something about the pose and the feet and everything is not, I don't know, it looks a little funny to me. But I'm sure I'll get that one because that's a cool species. Pachycephalosaurus looks really nice. It's not a tripod pose at least. Not that I mind. See my tripod video. It's kind of impressive that they got it to stand on 2 feet in a slightly diagonal pose like that. Yeah, it's a Pachycephalosaurus. I feel like maybe not quite the most exciting choice, but one that Safari wanted to have back on the market again. since all the old Safari ones went away. The pose actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the Patat Pachycephalosaurus. The color scheme is, it's cool. I like the little stripy thing going on there, the little osteoderms with the black circles. Nothing too exciting. The new Edmontosaurus looks cool. It's the Edmontosaurus regalis. I was kind of hoping they'd go with the old Anatotitan, the Edmontosaurus annectans, but I'm old school that way. This one looks nice. I don't know if it's a coincidence this is coming out the same year that the Jurassic World one is going to be coming out. The color pattern is cool, and if it's anything like the sculpting on the Griposaurus, it's going to be an amazing looking figure. Sarcosuchus. It looks great, It's a crocodile with a long snout. Safari's pretty much got crocodiles down pat, so that was a pretty safe choice. I'm not too excited by all these prehistoric crocodilians. I don't know why. They're not quite my thing, but it looks like a nice model. It's probably going to be pretty big. And there's the Concavenator, another redo of an old Carnegie. It looks cool. It's hard to see in this picture because it's small. I'm glad that based on this, maybe it's going to be kind of more in scale, like 135 scale or something. It's pretty small. It looks nice. The color pattern, the shading, and everything looks cool. I like the little bit of red around the little hornlets there. Almost like the Walking with Dinosaurs Allosaurus. I love the fact that its mouth is closed. Way to go, Safari. Carnivores with their mouths closed. Speaking of which, look at the new Dilophosaurus. Now, at first glance, this doesn't look that different to me than the old Dilophosaurus. People have been clamoring for a new Dilophosaurus from Safari. I kind of thought the old one was okay. Proportionally, it was a little off, but it looked really cool. This one has really, obviously better proportions with a nice long tail. I like the kind of upright stance. It isn't a tripod, but, tail is horizontal. Can't complain about that. It looks very alert. It almost reminds me of like maybe a replacement for the Carnegie. The Dilophosaurus is kind of rearing up. It's in that like upright alert posture, like it's going to attack or looking out for something. Color scheme it reminds me a lot of the old one. I kind of wish they'd done something unique and different with the Dilophosaurus color scheme. Stripes on the tail are cool. A little Sinosauropteryx type of thing. And finally, there is my guy, the Deinonychus. It's about time we got a nice updated Deinonychus figure. I put that in my prediction. This year, 2019, is the 50th anniversary of the discovery of Deinonychus. So I said, if they're going to do Deinonychus, this is the year to do it. I'm glad they actually did. It looks like a really beautiful model. The feathering on it looks great. Looks very accurate proportion-wise. Just the overall pose and feathering of this Deinonychus, I don't know, it reminds me of some paleo art. Somebody comment if you can think of like what paleo art I'm thinking of for this Deinonychus. Just in terms of the color scheme, the pose with the tail. I'm assuming the tail's going to be kind of fanned out if you look at it from the top. I don't know why it's reminding me of something that I've seen. Recent paleo art that maybe it's based on, but it looks like a very nice and up-to-date Deinonychus. So that's my initial reaction. I'll probably post another more in-depth video once we get some high-res photos of these and maybe take a look at them one by one. And obviously there's going to be an unboxing in the future because these all look really great. I might have to be purchasing this entire wave. But somebody posted on Facebook, and I agree with them. Where are the mammals? Guys, Safari, your prehistoric mammals have been killing it the past few years. We got to get some more of those mammals. I hope there's still a couple to debut. Maybe this is just the prehistoric reptiles, and we're going to see some mammals separately. Man, I hope so, because I'd love to see like a big, like an Indricothere or something like that. Or even a Megaloceros. There's so many good iconic prehistoric mammals that we need to get into this line. Safari has got those top-notch mammals. I did an unboxing video with a lot of them recently, and man, I'd love to get my hands on more of those. So Safari, if you're listening, You know, if this is going to be a mammal-free year, that's okay. I get it. Maybe we can alternate. You put out a new Deinonychus that looks amazing, so you can do no wrong in my eyes right now. But maybe for next year, guys, let's do a mammal-heavy year, okay? Because your mammals are amazing. And these dinosaurs are great. A lot of theropods. 1, 2, 3, 4 theropods. It's like half theropods this year. So, you know, I know theropods probably sell better. Man, I really like that ichthyosaur. It's growing on me. Anyway, guys, there you have it. Safari's 2020 dinosaur lineup. This has been Terrible Dactyl, and I'll see you in the comments.